Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Monday, November 14th, 2022, and tonight I'll be covering paranormal news. As always, you can find all the episodes of the show along with links to social media and ways to contact me at the podcast page, which is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions, or if you have stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you on the show to talk about them with me. And so the plan for the rest of the week is more true paranormal stories from the web tomorrow, another episode of Comic Books and the Paranormal on Wednesday with Derek, and then more paranormal news on Thursday. So that is the plan for the rest of the week. And of course, all links are in the stream chat text channel here for you all to check out. And they will be included in the episode descriptions on the YouTube and podcast feeds. Because I only talk about certain points within all the articles, so definitely recommend that you check those out and read them for yourselves. So this first one here that I found is really pretty neat because it points out something I hadn't heard of before. This is from actually it's from foxnews.com, and the title is it's way down in the file. The title is a look at some horror movies based on or inspired by a true story to watch during Halloween weekend. And of course, this is from a couple weeks ago or so. And it does mention a couple of movies here that I was already familiar with, being somewhat slightly, very loosely based on real events. A couple of these movies in this list, like Zodiac, I think Scream, they're based on more true crime stuff. But and then it has things like the Amityville Horror, The Conjuring, Annabelle. But the one movie I didn't know was based on, or had some kind of basis in reality, was Poltergeist, the first one. Of course, a lot of people have probably heard about the curse and or paranormal activity that came with the movie and after the movie was made. But I hadn't heard of that there was actually a family that this movie was inspired by. There was this house. Was the last name of the family there was Herman, Herrmann. So just slightly different spelling of that name. And so this story goes back to 1958. And around that time, the husband, his first name is actually James, got a call from his wife, Lucille, telling him that she was hearing popping sounds coming from different rooms and found uncorked bottles in those rooms, says. And of course, at first, James, the husband, dismissed these claims, figured it was basically very skeptical. But then it happened again 3 more times. And he also saw objects moving around in the bathroom without anyone touching them. So, let's see here. So it's the one thing that is different from the original story to the movie is that the real house was not built on ancient burial grounds, and it also didn't have a long history of residents. It was basically brand new. And so it's just differences from the movies to the actual events that kind of somewhat inspired them. And this article goes into other events as well that somewhat inspired movies. So, um, just should be an interesting read if you want to check out the article and look through all of these because there's several movies that they mention, including some going back to the 1960s, 1970s. So, um, so yeah, neat article there. I wanted to share because these, I think there is something to be said for connections between our fiction and our reality in terms of um, just paranormal activity and how it can inspire fiction, and and then how that fiction can inspire people and even lead people to look into these things, the real things that happen. So it's a neat back and forth there, despite um, the whole trope or the whole uh, image that Hollywood does project about the paranormal, which is that it's all negative. There's that's definitely there from Hollywood and from TV and movies and things because that sells more, according to them. So anyway, so that was the first article, and let's see here. So this next one is from BusinessInsider.com, and the title is I work in insurance by day and hunt ghosts by night. People think it must be scary, but investigating the paranormal isn't always what you see on TV. And I do like this article just for that alone. So this, let's see here. They have some bullet points here. Says that the author, last name is Concher. I'm not sure. Is a 35-year-old paranormal investigator in Denver, Colorado. She does private and public investigations, and she also uses those to teach people how to use equipment to detect anything that seems strange, paranormal activity, and also it says helps others to get closure. And the article says that she says the job isn't scary; it's about connection and communication. So, I'm just going to read the section headings of this article here. I think those will be good enough to kind of summarize this. It says that the first one is here. It says, I keep my heart and mind open to paranormal experiences, which I do think is a good thing to do. It says, people often call us when they feel a weird presence in their home, which that is part of what I think has led to the whole field of paranormal investigation. It says we hold public investigations at businesses and museums, and I've been to a couple of these kinds of events. As I've said before, I think I've talked about this in the show. I went to a couple of public paranormal investigations at historic sites here in Michigan, where they were events that were held, and you bought tickets, but all the money from those tickets went to the upkeep and restoration of these sites. And they're really neat events, even if it was just to see the locations. But there were a few weird things here and there that did happen. So I would definitely recommend doing that if possible. Just as long as you check into, as much as possible, check into the group that you're looking to go with. Make sure they seem like they're in it for the right reasons to help people, whether it's people living or other beings that are in the locations. And so long as those things are in order and it seems like the people that are investigating are also positive overall, they're not instigating or being disrespectful towards anyone really. I would definitely recommend it. That's basically all I'd say on that. It says we have people sign waivers to protect the business and protect us. I think that's going to be more and more of a thing, um, and I don't blame them for that, really. And it says I think we provide a really important service to people, and I would agree with that. And this is a neat one. It says my biggest tool is my intuition. So, and I think that's something that everyone would benefit from and probably does benefit from, even if they don't know it. Uh, so, and they mentioned here that the tropes of TV shows that where there are investigators that are on these TV shows, and how a lot of that is just TV. So, and of course, it's a lot more extreme on TV than it is in real life. They say in a lot of cases, a lot of investigations, it's just you're just sitting there or standing there and taking readings and talking to whoever might be there, but you might not get a response. So, neat article, just for all those reasons, and wanted to share that. So let's see here. I'm seeing something about video, but I think that's just an icon. All right. So yeah, neat article there as well. Excuse me. So let's move on to the next one. This one we've talked about before in an entire show. It wasn't. I feel like I didn't do the best on that one, but it is something we talked about, and that is this is from SpectrumLocalNews.com, and this says how thunderstorms can affect paranormal activity. And this is neat because I do think this is possible. Has some bullet points here I'll just go through. It says paranormal beings need energy to manifest according to paranormal investigators. It says they can appear in many ways. We've heard this before. And then it mentions lightning can help provide the energy needed for paranormal beings to appear. And I do think that's the case, and I think there's I always wonder about lightning and how the energy flow might be used by these beings that don't have physical bodies, but then again, energy. They are made of energy, and especially if they've adjusted to being in that form, who knows what they can do and how they can travel around, around using storms, lightning. So let's see here. So yeah, it just goes into a little more detail on that. Talks about investigators, and there's one in this article, last name of Welsh, I believe, that they talk with, and he says that they can appear in 4 different ways. It says visual or full body apparitions, sounds, smells, and then cold spots. I've heard of cold spots, and I've heard of hot spots as well, even though that's not as widely reported. And so neat article there about how these storms can maybe lead to more activity. So I wanted to share that because of that we covered that before. So, and I have 2 more articles here to share tonight about a couple of places that are said to be have paranormal activity. This next one is from KCTV5.com, and the title is Haunted History Inside the Harris Kearney House in Westport, and this is in Missouri. It says that there's a home inside, I'm guessing Westport, that is being, so apparently it was a former home. I don't think it is a home anymore. or if it is, it's not. It's open at least at some points to the public. But it says that during the Halloween season, paranormal investigators book tours of this house to try to get to record paranormal activity, and it goes over. Let's see here. So this is apparently Kansas. Oh, so this is Kansas City, I guess. It's the oldest brick home um, in the area, and just talks about how there are reports. Oh, so it was built apparently in 1855 by Colonel John and Henrietta Harris, and it later became the home of Colonel Charles Kearney, who had married into the family. So that's how the house has two different names, but it's within the family still. And it was apparently known at the time as the Mansion House. The bricks that were used to make the place were actually made on site. Of course, it was made by, it says, African American slaves, which is not wonderful. And originally it says the house stood on 5 acres of land at the southwest corner of the intersection of a couple of streets there. I won't really give the names, but and it says the place was later moved. Oh, okay. So I could probably either way. Anyway, it says it was moved in 1922, and to another location. So and apparently now it's let's see here. Connected to a local historical society, and let's see here. Just looking at this more. Apparently, there are reports there of paranormal activity. It says, of course, and the stories include reports of moving mannequins, a piano that plays on its own, orbs appearing on the staircase, mysterious white mist, and then once in a while an apparition of a woman in a dress. So, some neat sightings there, and they talk about the whole paranormal tourism thing and how that can work. So, neat article there. Not super long, but still always fun to hear about these places that I haven't heard of before. So, definitely recommend checking it out. And this last one is from, let's see here, fox29.com, and the title is "What Lies Beneath the World of Politics? Explore the Haunted Halls of Congress." And so this is reports of paranormal activity in Washington, D.C., in the Capitol. And so according to, says that, according to some people that work there, some say they can still hear custodian who passed away scrubbing the floors there late at night. Others say they feel like they've heard the late one of the senators there, Penrose from Pennsylvania, sitting in a rocking chair reading bills late at night. I wonder if they mean to hear his voice talking or just the rocking chair. But or if there even is a rocking chair there. So it says the military changed the U.S. Capitol building into a field hospital for Union soldiers during the Civil War. And so it said that some have reported seeing apparitions of these soldiers moving around the building, apparently to this day. That one I had not heard of. So that's really amazing in a way. So let's see here. Apparitions have been seen, shadows So yeah, neat article there. Just excuse me. And of course, there's probably the most well-known story about the Capitol is this apparition of what they call a demon cat. I'm guessing just because of the size, and of course, it's said to appear before national emergencies. Um, and it says uh the cat's footprints. I wonder how this is possible. It says the footprints are apparently visible in the Senate wing, um, but yeah, it's really weird. I wonder how that works because if it's a solid floor, how is it leaving? But anyway, um, so neat story there, and so that's how we're gonna end the show tonight. So, thank you all for listening, and like I said, I always recommend you all check out the articles for yourselves and go from there. So, thank you all again, and I will talk to you all tomorrow night on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal.